Good morning. Welcome to today's New York City Council hearing for the Committee on Contracts, jointly with the Committee on Women and Gender Equity and Small Businesses. Please silence all cell phone and electronic devices. And as a friendly reminder, do not approach the dais. If you wish to participate in today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card with the sergeant at arms. Without further ado, cheers. We are ready to begin.
Good morning and welcome to this joint hearing of Committee on Contracts, Small Businesses, and Women Gender Equity. Today is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. My name is Julie Wan and I have the privilege of chairing this Contracts Committee. I want to thank Chair Felice and Lewis for co-chairing this with me, as well as members of the three committees for coming together. I'd also like to thank the representatives from the Office of MWBEs, as well as advocates of small businesses that are here to testify today. I'd also like to state on the record that we have Councilmember Brooks Powers on Zoom, Councilmember Nurse, Councilmember Hanif, Councilmember Palladino on Zoom, Councilmember Riley, Councilmember Ung also here with us. Before we begin, yes, we are noting that they have joined us. The city's MWBE disparity study hasn't been updated since 2018 in a study that relied on data from 2015. That's 10 years ago. Local Law 129 of 2005 requires a city to conduct a disparity study every 2 years. We're not talking about running a few months behind schedule. We're talking about it being a full 3 reporting cycles behind where the law should be. So what? This isn't the first time the administration has been late on a study, right? Well, this study isn't just a paperwork problem. The disparity study is the foundation of the entire MWBE program. Every day that passes without an updated study makes the program more vulnerable and less reflective of the current demographics and the needs of our business owners. So I need the administration to tell us today, where's the next disparity study, when will it be completed, and when will you update the MWBE utilization goals based on current data? Because right now we aren't operating on goals set from 2018 study that relied on 2015 data, trying to address discrimination using information from 10 years ago. 10, so a decade ago. The city has over 11,000 certified MWBEs. These are businesses that went through our certification process, submitted all the paperwork, met all the requirements, and got approved. Yet, year after year, only around 20% of them got awarded city contracts. That means 80% of certified MWEs get no city work at all. These aren't businesses we saying aren't qualified. We certify them and then we don't hire them. The comptroller just released his FY25 MWBE contracting report, and the numbers remain terrible. Last year, the city registered almost 1,300 procurement contracts worth $42.5 billion. Certified MWBEs got just under 2,500 of those contracts worth around $2.25 billion. That's 5.3% of the city's total procurement value going to MWBEs. So this is actually up slightly from the 5% in FY24. So we've gone from 5% to 5.3%, while the administration is talking about hitting $60 billion in MWBE contracts by 2030. At this rate, we're not even close. Emergency contracting has made all of this worse. Since 2020, the city has spent billions of dollars on emergency contracts for the COVID response, the asylum crisis, monkeypox, emergency demolitions, and who knows what else. The mayor issued Executive Order 34 in 2023, requiring agencies to consider at least one MWBE quote when they do emergency procurements. That resulted in MWBEs getting 15% of those contracts by count and 3.45% by value. What this tells us is that the system defaults to excluding MWBEs and emergencies when there's less oversight and normal procurement processes get bypassed. The comptroller's report found that it takes an average of 144 days for emergency contracts to get filed in the city's financial management system after work starts. That's almost 5 months where vendors are doing the work and paying their employees with no guarantee they're getting paid. If you're an MWBE or a small business without deep pockets or easy access to credit, you simply can't afford to bid on this work. The payment delay isn't just an inconvenience, it's a barrier that keeps you out of the game entirely. This needs to change. Today, we're also hearing Introduction 1076, sponsored by Councilmember Hanif, which will require the city to include businesses owned by people of Middle Eastern and North African descent in future disparity studies. And we're trying to fix how the city works with currently recognized MWBE categories, and we need to make sure that we're not leaving out other communities that face discrimination in city procurement. So here's what we need from the administration today. We need a commitment to acknowledge the urgency here and complete the disparity study and update the WBE utilization goals before the end of this year. We need to understand what specific actions you're taking to move the certifying 11,000 businesses to awarding them contracts. We also need to know what consequences agencies face when they fail to meet the MWBE goals year after year, and how you're reforming emergency procurement so MWBEs can compete. And we need real timelines and real accountability, not aspirational language about commitments to diversify. The city created the MWBE program to address discrimination in procurement, to increase competition, and to promote fairness. Right now, it's not doing any of those things, and without an updated disparity study, the entire program is at risk. We need to fix this, and we need to fix it now. Before we hear from the administration, I want to thank my contracts committee, senior counsel Alex Polinoff, policy analyst Alex Yablon, financial analyst Spencer Kuhn, along with the staff from the committees on small businesses, women, and gender equity for their hard work for putting it together. I'll turn it over now to Chair Felice for his opening statement.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this joint hearing of the Committees on Contracts, Small Business, and Women and Gender Equity. I am Councilmember Oswald Felice, Chair of the Committee on Small Business, and I would like to thank you all for joining us for today's hearing. I want to thank Chairs Juan and Lewis for your leadership and for all the work on the issue of MWEs, as well as for co-chairing with me today, as well as members of the three committees for coming together for this joint hearing. I'd also like to thank my staff and the committee staff, the representatives from agencies who are here today, as well as members of the public who are here to testify. Small businesses are the backbone of our city. It is no secret that the procurement process is just as important to the city as it is for local businesses. Every day we rely on small businesses and MWBEs to keep our local government running. From the paper clips on our desk to large industrial machinery, the city is lucky to be able to tap into such a diverse talent of businesses that can supply us with the tools necessary to keep our government running smoothly and efficiently. Our government, and therefore our city, is made better when we're able to tap into the diversity of our talent pool. City procurement is a complicated, lengthy process, and agencies often follow the path of least resistance to get the resources they need. It is for this reason that the city created the MWBE program, to address historical discrimination and to promote fairness. Without accurate data, it's hard to see how we can accomplish these goals. To increase MWBE participation in the procurement process, to increase the quality of goods procured for our city workers, and to ensure that the city is giving a fair shot to our small and local MWBEs, it is imperative that the administration prioritize this issue. I look forward to hearing from the administration on how they intend to utilize the tools at their disposal to do just that. I'll now turn it over to Chair Lewis for your opening statement.
Thank you, Chair Felice. Good morning. I'm Councilmember Farrah Lewis, Chair of the Committee on Women and Gender Equity, and we're excited to join the Committee on Contracts and the Committee on Small Business and their chairs, Chair Juan and Chair Felice, for today's oversight hearing on the status of Minority Women-Owned Business Enterprise Certification Program. The MWBE certification program is a powerful tool that was developed to expand opportunities for minority and women entrepreneurs to access government contracts and grow their businesses. For too long, minority and women-owned businesses have faced systemic barriers to success. MWBEs are powerful engines of growth. They create jobs, stimulate investments, and contribute positively to the local economy. Supporting these businesses is a sound economic policy that benefits everyone in our community. By ensuring these businesses have a seat at the table, we are building a more equitable and more resilient economic future for New York City. Unfortunately, persistent inequities exist in city contracting with MWBEs. In FY24, just 6% of overall city contract value, which includes prime contracts and purchase orders, went to MWBEs. And the contracts that were awarded to MWBEs were often smaller than that of white male-owned businesses. On average, dollar value of a business contract with a white male-owned business was more than 6 times greater than an MWBE contract. On top of that, contracts are are later than they've ever been in the city, registering nearly 3 and 4 contracts awarded to MWBE as late. Clearly, there is more work to be done on a level to level the playing field for MWBEs. Our city must do better to serve our diverse community and the businesses that contribute to our vibrant economy. So today we'll hear from the administration and we'll ask, how can the city increase the use of MWBEs and ensure that MWBEs have access to higher value contracts? By strengthening the MWBE program, we are not just helping a group of businesses, we are building a more resilient, equitable, and prosperous future for all. I would like to thank members of the Committee on Women and Gender Equity who have joined us today. I would also like to thank committee staff, Julia Goldschmidt-Pinkham, Katie Selena, and Ali Stouffer, as well as my own staff, Daniel Heredia and Shubha Mishra, for their work on today's hearing. I would also like to recognize Councilmember Caban, and I will now pass it back to Chair Wan.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Chair Lewis. I'll now turn the floor to Councilmember Hanif to say a few words about her intro 1076.
Thank you, Chairs Oswald, Wan, and Lewis for convening today's important oversight hearing and for including my bill, Intro 1076, on the agenda. I'm proud that 15 of my colleagues have already signed on as co-sponsors, and I want to extend special thanks to Contracts Chair Wan, Consumer and Worker Protection Chair Menon, and Small Business Chair Oswald Feliz for their leadership and support. Intro 1076 takes an essential step forward toward ensuring the Middle Eastern and North African-owned businesses can finally be considered for the city's minority and women-owned business enterprise, the MWBE program. The bill requires the city's next MWBE disparity study to determine whether MENA-owned businesses are underrepresented in city contracting. If a disparity is found, they would become eligible for MWBE certification, opening access to the very opportunities this program was designed to address. I've heard directly from MENA small business owners, from grocers and restaurants to construction firms and creative studios who want nothing more than a fair chance to compete, yet feel invisible under the current system. Their experiences aren't captured in city data, leaving them shut out of MWBE certification and the contract opportunities that could help them grow. MENA Americans are currently classified as white under the US Census, an outdated categorization rooted in a complicated history of racial classification. But this label does not reflect the lived realities of discrimination many in the MENA community face in housing, employment, and daily life. Last year, the city announced a record-breaking $6 billion in spending with MWBE firms, yet MENA businesses remain unseen in this data because they are grouped under white. Their participation cannot be measured, their barriers cannot be identified, and their exclusion goes unaddressed. Intro 1076 is fundamentally about data accuracy. When the city misclassifies an entire community, it cannot design fair policy or close real disparities. This bill ensures we collect the data to understand MENA participation and, if needed, to act. To be clear, MWBE eligibility for MENA-owned businesses would occur only if a disparity is documented. If it is, they would receive distinct contracting goals, just as Black-owned, Latino-owned, Asian-owned, and Native American-owned businesses do now. They would not compete against these groups for the same goals. They would simply be recognized as a community with its own distinct needs. Since this bill was introduced, Governor Hochul signed Senate Bill S6584B, sponsored by Senator Mike Gianaris and Assemblymember Jessica Gonzalez Rojas, requiring state agencies to separately collect demographic data for white, Middle Eastern, and North African groups. This is a major step forward for data equity at the state level. Intro 1076 builds on that momentum by ensuring New York City also collects accurate data to inform fair and effective policy solutions. For far too long, MENA communities have been misclassified and overlooked. denied equal access to contracting opportunities that help businesses grow and participate fully in our local economy. Ending this exclusion is long overdue. Let's be the council that rights this injustice and ensures MENA communities are finally recognized, counted, and included in our city's MWBE program. Thank you. Back to you, Chair One.
Now I'll turn it over to our committee counsel to administer the oath.
Thank you, Chair. Alex Polanov, Senior Counsel. Will all members of the administration testifying or providing answers to questions today please raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony today, and to respond honestly to council member questions?
I do.
Thank you very much. You may begin when ready.
Thank you. And good morning to the council and committee chairs Juan, Lewis, and Velez. My name is Dwight Flynn, and I serve as First Deputy Chief Business Diversity Officer for the City of New York. It is a pleasure to engage with you all on our shared commitment to the advancements of the city's MWBE program and the health of our overall MWBE community. As someone who served a significant portion of my professional career advancing MWBE programming at the state level, I'm honored to be here representing the administration. Chief Business Diversity Officer Michael J. Gardner sends his regrets as he could not be here today due to his participation in the state's annual MWBE Forum in Albany, which was scheduled months in advance. Considering our shared commitments towards continuous programmatic and policy improvements to the city's MWB's program, I am also here to share some of the great work we've collectively produced over the past 3 years, as well as provide answers to council committee questions. As such, I'd like to preface that my intent today is to solely respond to the council committee questions we have received prior to today's hearing. However, my office would be more than happy to schedule a briefing with your offices to discuss potential questions raised subsequent to this testimony. Since fiscal 23, the mayor's first full year in office, we've achieved key MWBE successes and meaningful accomplishments. Our program's fiscal 25 successes has put us on track to meet the mayor's fiscal 26 year-end goal of awarding $25 billion in MWBE contracts via all procurement dollars spent by city and city-affiliated agencies by the end of December of this year, fully 6 months ahead of schedule. Moreover, our record for fiscal 25 MWBE outcomes are a progression of key achievements over the last 3 years. They include 3 straight fiscal years of over $6 billion in total city MWBE contracts, with fiscal 25 being $6.9 billion, which is a record for any year. 2 straight fiscal years of over 30% MWBE utilization among LL1 agencies, fiscal 25 being 36%, yet another record, and up from 23% in fiscal 22. Fiscal 25 LL1 MWBE contract awards of $2.2 billion, a 39% increase, up from $1.6 billion the prior fiscal year, again, for the first time in history. And, pardon me, 3 straight years of fiscal records for the use of the MWBE small purchase method. Now, using that method in fiscal 25, we achieved $350 million in contract awards under this method, which was more than doubled the 175 for fiscal year 23 of $175 million, and adds up to $822 million when measured from January 2022 to present. We've also had key New York State legislative victories and local policy program improvements. We've raised the small purchase method threshold twice, from $500,000 to $1.5 million, creating more and expanded opportunities for MWB there. Regarding LL1 agencies, secured the ability to self-register small purchase method contracts from the New York State Controller. Executive Order 26 and 34 better aligned MWB programs and provided agency guidance on the creation of potentially more equitable contracting opportunities wherever practicable, and secured funding, the administration secured funding for an integrated technology solution platform to better measure city MWBE performance in a near real-time manner. As well as we have established weekly ComStat meetings with the various agencies to review agencies' MWB data and performance. The upshot of all of this is that since January of 2022, the city has awarded a record $24 billion in MWB contracts to MWBEs, the most nationally of any program of its kind. Now, turning now to the legislation attached to today's hearing. Council members Hanif's bill, Intro 1076, seeks to add Middle East and North African MENA Americans as an additional eligible category to the definition of minority groups in the city's Minority and Women-Owned Business Program. Before any amendments to the program, the city must conduct a disparity study to determine whether there is a significant statistical disparity between the number of available contractors able to provide goods and services and the number of these firms in contract with city government currently. SBS is already conducting an updated disparity study that, for the first time, includes an analysis of MENA businesses with the goal of completion by the end of 2025. As part of this study, SBS conducted outreach to business owners in Little Yemen, Astoria, Bay Ridge, and briefed business serving organization in MENA communities. We look forward to completing the study and continuing conversations with the council on ways to support MENA-owned businesses through our existing capacity building and technical assistance resources available to all small businesses. We recognize that there is more work to be done, yet we remain appreciative of the leadership of the administration, our oversight agency principals, and the collective commitment of the city and city-affiliated agencies whose efforts have been the driving force behind the city's MWBE achievements. Thank you. Now, if I can take a few minutes to directly respond to the questions that was proposed to the administration, I'd like to do so and read it into the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you could just hold, I want to pass it over to Councilmember Hanif to ask her questions because she's got a hard stop.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Can you share if SBS is tracking how many Middle Eastern and North African-owned businesses are operating in New York City?
Council member, we are taking questions today and we will circle back with specific answers to those questions so as to ensure that we're being complete and responsive. So we'll circle back in a short period of time.
Well, that's a little disappointing to hear because the hearing is about 1076 and MENA businesses. So either way, we will wait to get that statistic. If 1076 passes, how would SBS implement the requirements to include MENA-owned businesses?
Again, those conversations, we're happy to have those conversations with you and your staff regarding specific concerns you may have on implementation or scope. And we're happy to set up a meeting and schedule one in a short period of time.
I mean, that would be great. It was only recently that I learned that SBS is collecting data from the MENA community. And this bill has been introduced for quite some time now, and I was very disappointed to learn that we weren't added to the conversation. And instead, there was an attempt to not have this bill heard. So I just want to share that this bill is extremely important for our community, and SBS needs to take this much more seriously than it has done since the last time a study came out. We are still waiting, and it's hard to understand why SBS studies are taking this long, and I'd love to hear what has been the cause of the delays. And then I'd like to know, lastly, we've had cases in my district where an applicant has not heard back for over a year regarding their MWBE application. What's the average time from application submission to certification approval? And then how does SBS work to inform MWBE applicants of where they are in the process and if the process is delayed?
Right, and again, I would be happy to take that information and schedule a call to discuss the process in any particular detail that is needed. And as I've stated earlier, we are expecting the study itself to be completed by the end of December.
So the two additional questions I asked about the delays in certification.
Right.
You're taking that back, you said?
Yes, we are. And if there's a specific certification questions from members of your from members of your constituency, you know, we're happy to take those specific questions back to SBS and have them be in contact with the particular constituent. Happy to do that. We're also happy to circle back with you on any questions you have about the process.
Again, I was under the impression that in this hearing, we would learn a little bit more about how the MWBE certification works. So asking for an average time of when certification takes place, I think, is one of the basic questions, and where they are in the process and how SBS is supporting them. So disappointed, but not surprised. I will pass it back to Councilmember One.
Thank you so much. I echo the sentiment of Councilmember Hanif, our first Muslim woman representative in the City Council, and we hope to see more improvements in the next administration. You can return to answering the questions that we had sent as courtesy before the hearing. You are not limited to only answering those questions. You are here for an oversight hearing, so you will have to answer other questions from all of us. But go ahead.
Thank you. The questions regarding the number of certified MWBEs at the fiscal 25, that number is 11,382. The breakdown by ethnicity of that number would be Black-owned 33%, Asian-owned 22%, Hispanic-owned 18%, Native American 0.14%, and non-minority women-owned 26%. MWB utilization in city contracting, again, in fiscal 25, again, there was $2.2 billion of MWBE awards made to LL1 agencies. The overall MWBE utilization or percentage of as it was 36%, which is up from 31% the prior year in fiscal 24. The breakdown of those numbers, again, were Black-owned, 17.6%, Asian-owned, 44%, Hispanic-owned, 14.8%, Native American-owned, 0.01%, and non-minority women-owned, 23.6%. There was a question regarding progress towards the $60 billion by 2030. The city remains and is on track to meet the $60 billion in contract award by fiscal 2030. The administration set interim targets of $25 billion by the end of 2020, fiscal 26, and $60 billion by the end of fiscal 30. As of Q1 of fiscal 26, the city has awarded approximately $24 billion in contract awards to MWBEs, and the city expects to exceed the $25 billion goal by year's end. Emergency contract awards to MWBEs in 25. Well, there was a total, in terms of using that method, there was a total of 107 contracts awarded, of which MWBEs received 93 of those. That was roughly 86.9%, totaling roughly 9,371,000. And to non-MWBEs that were awarded, there were 14 contracts, roughly 13.1%, and that totaled a bit more than $125 million for a total of the 107 contracts total in dollar value, $134,682,851. There was another question regarding the percentage of MWE contracts registered late. Now, MOX evaluates timeliness based on the registration within 30 days of the contract start. So for instance, the total MWBE small purchase method awards were roughly 1,145 contracts that were registered. Retroactive in that number were roughly 338 of them, about 29%. Retroactive more than 30 days, 66. So of the 1,145, there was roughly 66 contracts that were retroactive, meaning more than 30 days in this instance.
Okay, let's stop here so that we can go through section by section.
Okay.
Because instead of going back, I think we should just talk about each section of the data that you're talking about. So for the total certified firms, you're saying that we certified 11,382.
As of the end of 25.
Yes. And in the city of New York, how many firms total are registered with the city of New York? I imagine probably hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I mean, we will circle back with you on this specific number, on that specific number for that specific question.
Because that already is too little. 11,382 firms for the city of New York that has a $118 billion budget. 30% of that is going to contracting. That is an abysmal amount of money that is being, our taxpayer dollars go straight back into the hands of white people.
Well, I can say that all that come in terms of MWBEs that potential MWBEs looking to be certified, those applications are taken in and processed. But if you have a specific question regarding that specific number relative to the larger number, we're happy to consider it and provide you with a response.
Yeah, we're going to have to get certifications up for all of the MWBEs, but especially for looking at your breakdown of certified firms, there's more non-minority, so white women-owned firms, 26%, than Asian-owned and Hispanic-owned and Native American-owned that are certified. So you're going to have to get the certification numbers up so that we actually have people of color who are also certified, not just white women.
Right. The goal is to certify all eligible that are ready and willing and that are apply and that meet the qualifications. And as again, we are always happy to have discussions with this.
So
We're always happy to have discussions with this committee to on any specific questions you may have on any specific group.
So can you help me understand how many people applied to become certified MWBE? Because I want to know how many rejections you've had.
And that's a question I will circle back with you on specifically on that answer.
So you don't know how many people are applying?
For
Can you have-
for
can
what
you-
particular time frame and so on, we will
So
we
within
will
the-
we will get you that
So
response.
within fiscal year 25 to close, how many people of color applied for and women applied for MWBEs? Because I want to know how many you're rejecting and why you're rejecting them. What's causing them to not qualify? And if we're only having a few thousand people apply to become MWBE certified with the city of New York, that is a disservice to our city. We need to make sure that we are helping minorities become certified.
One point that you just brought up, in terms of denials for 25, it was 39.
So you denied 39%.
39
39 people?
Yeah, 39 applicants.
So that means that we only had really 11,400 something people apply for the entire fiscal year to become an MWBE certified with the city of New York.
I mean, this is the vendor pool itself. It's not 11,000 applying that
'Cause-
year.
So you're saying if there's 11,382 that are
Vendor
total
pool.
certified, and you reject a 39, that only adds up to be about 11,400.
Well, what we're
20.
saying, is of the applicants, of those that are certified, gone through the process, been accepted. You have at the end of fiscal 25, 11,382, right? In that time frame, there were applicants that came in, some of which were denied, and that number was 39.
Right. So are you seeing a pattern of the denials? Why are you denying these people? We want to have only 11,382 firms that are minority owned and women owned in the city of New York for our applicant pool is abysmal, and it's a disgrace. So we need to get that number up, and we have to figure out why, even out of the 39 that did apply, why they were rejected.
We're clearly happy to work with the committee to improve and to socialize in any meaningful way to the community the MWB opportunities that are available from being certified. And being certified is based on one's ability to meet the eligibility criteria. And we're happy to work with this committee and to circle back in a short period of time.
So what is the SBS team doing for MWBEs as well as MOCS MWBEs to get certifications up for people of color? How are we doing our outreach to make sure that small business owners who are minorities, that they're aware that they can become certified? How are you making it easier? Because I've gone through this process with small businesses in my district. It is not easy. There isn't language access. You're not translating any of these forms into Spanish or Chinese or Korean. It's extremely difficult for them to understand the portal. So what are you doing to make sure that minorities can actually access the certification?
We're clearly willing to work with not only other city agencies, and we do, but also with the city council here to improve MWBE awareness or potential MWB awareness of certification opportunities. We have borough-based forums that we do, and many outreach events that SBS does do, not only by themselves but with other agencies and with other oversight. So we're happy to circle back on a comprehensive response of the various outreach activities that the administration has on a regular basis to encourage potential MWBEs to get certified and to help them understand what the certification process entails.
So how many events are you doing per month? And in which boroughs?
It does vary on a month-to-month basis. Again, I'll circle back with. I'd rather give you specific answers that are accurate and to the point that you're trying to get answers to. So we'll circle back in a short period of time with that answer.
And how much money is dedicated to increasing MWBE certifications within SBS? What is that funding amount?
That I will circle back with you on.
How many staff members do you have dedicated to increasing MWBE certification?
Again, committee chair will circle back with you on that.
How many people are employed to do the certification process for MWBEs at MOCS or at SBS?
The certification process is SBS, and we'll circle back with specific numbers.
So you don't know how many staff members you have dedicated to working on MWBE certification?
There is a certification unit at SBS, and it is a substantial unit. I just simply want to make sure that the number I give you is accurate.
Okay, whose staff is here with you from your team today? Are they sitting behind you?
No, unfortunately, they weren't able to be here today.
Oh, so the administration didn't think that it was important for you to be here at this hearing with staff?
Yes, they do, which is why I'm here. Again, I am the first deputy to chief business diversity officer. But that said, if there are specific questions that go to the heart of issues you're concerned with and should be regarding how MWBEs are getting in and what they're accomplishing in the system, I want to make sure that we circle back to you with specific answers that give you the tools you need to make decisions on a going forward basis.
Okay, I see some of the admin folks here with us. Can you please make sure that we get a clear answer of how many staff members are dedicated to certify MWBEs and SBS and MOCS for each agency? And what is the funding allocation for each agency to ensure that this is happening? we would like to hear it before the end of this hearing. For the Mayor's Executive Order 34, requiring agencies to consider at least one quote from an MWBE vendor for all emergency procurements, how is this being enforced? And does MOX track whether agencies are complying with the EO 34 requirement to consider MWBE quotes? For emergency contracts where MWBE vendors are not selected, are agencies required to document the reasons why?
I believe the answer is yes, but what I will do also is circle back with the specific mechanism on which that response it happens between the agencies and MOX in terms of just how they track the various types of procurement methods.
Okay, so your answer is yes, that you are following the mayor's executive order on the record, that you are considering at least one quote from a MWBE vendor for all emergency procurements, for every single one that has happened in the last 4 years.
My response is that following the mayor's executive order is policy for the city, and I will circle back regarding the actual performance by circling back to MOX and getting back to you in a short period of time.
Okay, we will have to know on the record that the answer is yes, that you had considered at least one quote for each MWBE vendor for every single emergency procurement, because that is not what we have seen from our past hearings, as well as when we have pulled all the contracts, as well as what we've discussed before. And for emergency contracts where MWBE vendors were not selected, did the agencies produce documentation on why those MWBEs did not qualify?
For each and every, in terms of an omnibus, what I will have to do is circle back with you regarding the responses that are provided by MOX on this issue, this specific question.
Okay, because from the hearings that we've had within the last 4 years, MWBEs were not selected, they were not given quotes, and they were given no documentation on why they were not selected for emergency procurement.
Understood. And we will circle back with you shortly just to ensure that our response gets to the heart of the matter.
Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Councilmember Lewis to ask follow-up questions.
Thank you, Chair Juan. So in your testimony, you stated 3 straight fiscal years of over $6 billion in total city MWB contracts. FY25 would have a record of $6.9 billion.
Yes.
So I wanted to know, what kinds of contracts does this include? And is it the spending year of FY25 or out years? How are you all calculating that number?
We are looking at the total spend of city agencies and city affiliated agencies with MWBEs for each fiscal year. But we're happy to circle back with more detail if that would be helpful.
You said different city agencies?
No, city agencies and city affiliated agencies. With the total MWBE spend from those.
And that's how you're coming
entities.
up with the $6 billion for FY25?
For each fiscal year.
So is this only for fiscal year 25, or is this out years as well for the $6 billion?
No,
in totality?
this is over the 3 fiscal years. Is what you're referring to.
Got it. All right. Just like my co-chairs, I'm appalled that, we offered the courtesy and gave the gesture to provide questions so that you all prepared for the hearing. And for me, it's just completely ludicrous and unacceptable that you would just come here today as the first deputy to say that you're going to answer questions that was provided and not be able to answer additional questions. I'm going to proceed with asking my questions for the record because you hold a huge leadership role in your agency, and you should be able to answer these questions. We know that women of color entrepreneurs often start with significantly less capital than their white or male counterparts. So when 61% of MWBE contracts are registered late, leading to payment delays, this is an equity crisis that bankrupts these specific businesses. So I wanted to know, As the first deputy, can you explain how the administration plans to prioritize contract registration specifically for smaller, women-owned firms that do not have the cash reserves to float the city for 6 months?
It is the city's goal to ensure that small businesses, MWBs and so forth, small businesses, that their registration is as on time as practicable, and that is general policy. I know that is policy through MOX. For any specific tranche of registration, I would circle back with you on it, but clearly it is our goal has always been MWBEs being successful and not having obstacles in their way. So it is this administration is committed to ensuring that we improve on a year-over-year basis our ability and in actual fact the registration of MWBEs as well as just the overall program performance.
All right, would a restructuring of the MWBE program, perhaps consolidating oversight or giving SBS more authority over agency spending, alleviate the reporting delays and utilization gaps we're seeing?
I mean, this would be something we'd be happy to have further discussion with your office on to see if these or other ideas may be helpful in accelerating performance and improvements. We're happy to do so. We're happy to circle back.
But I wanted to know from your point of view.
It's difficult to say without getting into the details. That's why I would rather get it right.
All right, that's honest. When large prime contractors win bids for projects, for instance in Brooklyn, they often bring in their own preferred subcontractors from outside boroughs. So I wanted to know, how is the city enforcing local hire or local subcontracting specifically for MWBEs? And can your agency mandate that a percentage of subcontracts on Brooklyn-based projects must go to MWBEs located within the specific boroughs?
Regarding mandating, it's something that for logistic and possible legal reasons we would have to take back and examine, and we're happy again to have the discussion. I think we all get to a better place when we put our best foot forward on these things. But in terms of the commitment to local businesses, let's say, right? This administration has always said the city is open for business, and we support local businesses in a strong and robust manner, which is why, in all frankness, you see performance increase and outcomes increase year over year with the MWBE community. So yes, we will continue to do that, and we're happy to circle back with you on specific ideas you may have that may improve the outcomes.
All right. For construction and trade vendors in my district, the cost of insurance and bonding required for city contracts is often the primary barrier to entry, even more so than certification. So I wanted to know, while we have the contract financing loan fund, what is being done to subsidize or assist with bonding capacity, specifically for smaller MWBEs in the outer boroughs who cannot afford the upfront premiums required for bid?
But while I can say that I would like to and will circle back with you on this. I can tell you that the SBS has technical assistance that includes bonding support and so forth, and that one of the things we certainly want to do is ensure that our small businesses and MWBEs are interfacing with the agencies for information richness purposes, so that they themselves can benefit from these programs, which, as you pointed out, is helpful for small businesses when they're taking on these projects.
This is my last question. In central Brooklyn specifically, and some of those businesses are here today, many Caribbean and immigrant-owned businesses operate effectively, but rely heavily on cash transactions or older banking models, which disqualifies them from city contracts that require rigorous digital trails. Beyond standard loan applications, what specific technical assistance programs are you running to help Caribbean and minority-owned businesses to modernize their financial back end so that so that they are audit ready for the city procurement?
Well, I would like to get back to you what the specific programs are, so that I give you a complete list for which you can review.
Is this something that you all have been thinking about?
The various oversight may likely are, but let me circle back because then I can give you a more accurate answer.
Have you all heard of this before? Is
To
this a theme or a trend?
Yeah, we've heard various communities have sort of expressed the various needs they have within the program. But my concern is ensuring that when we respond to you, it's accurate and useful for your purposes. So we'll circle back.
Thank you. And we've also been joined by council members Zhuang and Vernikov. I'm going to pass it back now to Chair Wan.
Thank you so much. I'm going to now pass it over to Chair Felice for his questions.
Thank you so much, Chair. I would like to recognize some of the members of the Small Business Committee, including Council members Ung and Zhuang. Just want to start by echoing some of the points mentioned by Chairs Wan and Lewis. We have to support our MWEs. We have to get serious about reducing disparities and providing opportunities to underrepresented groups. We have to get serious about promoting diversity in our economy. This is New York City, the most diverse city in the entire country. We have to get serious about that issue. Based on this data that you've provided today, it is clear that that is not getting prioritized or getting done, and it's very unacceptable. On this issue, this administration has issued everything. Goals, executive orders, has issued basically everything except results. And that is a perfect example of bad government. Also, the first question, we provided months of notice about this hearing. So my first question is, where is SBS? Where's the Small Business Services Agency? Where are they? We weren't told anything. I don't see them anywhere in this room. Where are they?
Yeah, pardon me. The council member chair, the SBS commissioner could not be here today. Wanted to be, but could not be here today. And again, if you have specific questions for any of the oversight, whether it's MOX, SBS, or just the administration, we're happy to circle back.
Yeah, we provided months of notice about this hearing, and simply not showing up, very unacceptable. And I think that says a lot about how serious this administration is about this issue. So I guess a few questions. I'll ask some general background questions related to the MWE process. Just for general background information and for the record, talk to us about the MWBE process. How can one become certified? What's the process like, and how long could it take to get certified?
I mean, I'm happy to circle back with the specific answers that you're looking for. Generally speaking, certification is for any certification is always based on the eligibility criteria, whether or not one meets them. But we can circle back with the verbiage on the specific details.
I would also like to recognize council members Vernikov and Krishnan who have joined. Once a business becomes certified, what are processes that must be followed to compete for a city contract?
Again, because it may vary somewhat, I'd rather circle back with you with specific response as to any of those nuances so that you have information in front of you that you can use in an actionable way.
How lengthy can these applications be? Are we talking about 10 pages, 20 pages of information that you must provide to compete for a contract?
I mean, it likely varies, but we'll circle back with you with a more comprehensive response.
What outreach is done to make sure businesses are aware of opportunities with the city? Any outreach at all?
I mean, the city does borough-based outreach events. We do get stuff done and build your business with New York campaigns, all for small business and specifically MWBEs. But we're happy to circle back with you with a more comprehensive response of the various types of outreach to the MWBE communities and what they're entailed and what they're intended to accomplish.
Out of all the contracts, what are some of the industries that the city has awarded most of the contracts to? Are we talking about the food industry, the education industry, technology, construction?
I mean, again, I'm happy to we're we're happy to you can, if you look at some of the responses given today about how fiscal 25 was sort of broken down, we're happy to circle back with you on the industry level basis, which is what you're asking about. So we can circle back with that specific information.
What is the average time from application submission to certification approval?
I'm
And
sorry, I didn't
also,
hear that. Could you repeat it?
what's the average time from the time one applies to the time one is approved for a specific certification?
Oh, for to get certified, the average time? We'll circle back with you on that.
Do we know if there's a backlog?
I am not aware of one, but we'll circle back with you on that.
How many certified MWBs have ever been awarded a city contract, ever?
I want to make sure you get
If you could just give us a ballpark if you don't have the specifics.
well, the thing is that'll vary over time. So I'd rather give you an answer that's accurate so that you're basically looking at accurate information.
Right, but do
than
we have
guessing.
a ballpark even through 2020, end of 2025? Any information on that?
We recognize that that number would vary. So I'm going to circle back with you if you'd indulge me.
So I think it's very clear that this administration came with very little to no information about this issue. And I think that shows a lot about how seriously all of the agencies under this administration are taking this issue related to MWBs. Not only the lack of information, but also the lack of results on this issue. A few more questions. Hopefully we can get some answers. Can MWBs certified at the state apply to participate in the program?
There is a fast track process between the two of them where one is certified with one and then seeks certification with the other, and it accelerates the process. It's not guaranteed, but it does. But we can get back to you with the specifics on that issue.
What information is available to businesses seeking assistance with certification, and also what does outreach look like to inform businesses of this information related to certification?
The city, specifically SBS, has a number of technical assistance programs that are geared to assist MWBEs, and we're happy to give you a comprehensive list of those and categorize them for you, so that for your own edification and also for sharing and socializing with constituents.
Has SBS or any agency or the agency that you're with received any feedback regarding the certification process? If yes, what has that feedback been?
Have they received any feedback regarding the process itself?
Regarding the certification process, but also regarding the application process to
I
apply
mean,
for a contract.
they collect data on a continuous basis. Specifically, I'm happy to circle back regarding how can I put this the overall trend that those questions are asking for any particular type of help or assistance or clarification.
Is there any information that stands out, that anything that you've heard from the small business community regarding the application process?
I mean, obviously, every business that comes in wants to be certified, and that's a great thing. And they're enthusiastic, and that's also a good thing. And we are tracking. The city tracks their performances in terms of those that are certified and those that aren't, and why. But I'm happy to circle back with general trends, just so that this committee can better understand what the interactions have been.
Thank you. I would like to recognize Councilmember Stevens, who has joined. Any improvements that have been made based on the feedback that we've received from the small business community?
Improvements in terms
to
of
the certification process, or to the process related to applying for a contract with the city?
the leadership are always looking for and listening to and to the extent practicable acting on and opportunities to improve the process. Again, I'm happy to circle back on specific instances of that so that you'll have a comprehensive list to review regarding steps that have been taken.
Yeah, so again, I'll pause here with the questions, but we provided months of notice. We've been chatting about this hearing since the summer. This administration has come with very little to no information about the data that we've been requesting for months, and that is unacceptable. And again, I think that shows the seriousness that we're giving to this issue. I'll pass it back to Chair Juan.
Thank you so much, Chair Felice. I do echo the sentiment that it is a disgrace that the agencies are not here. I want to go back to some of the data that you had provided. I am seeing discrepancies. So for Checkbook NYC, it says that overall MWBE spending for fiscal year 25 is 11.5% of an overall contract spending, not 36%. That's a huge discrepancy that you're stating in your testimony. So can you explain this discrepancy?
Well,
Why is there such a large gap?
I can't, I thought you said checkbook. I can't speak to checkbook right now, but
Checkbook is a transparency tool that the
I know,
Controller's Office uses,
I
and
know.
I can actually pull the contracts and read through them and quantify how they got to 11.5, but I cannot seem to find how to quantify 36%.
No, I understand. What I was trying to say is that this $2.2 billion based on LL1 agencies, city agencies spend for MWBEs is the number that we've come up to for fiscal 25. That includes just those items that would be allowable under LL1 procurements, which would exclude certain items. It excludes things like goods over $1 million. It excludes other items.
If you were
and we're happy to circle back.
excluding contracts, your number would not be higher, it would be lower.
But we're happy to circle back with you regarding the specific distinctions between those
Yes,
two.
if your calculation was excluding contracts because of LL, then it would not be a higher number of 36% instead of 11.5%, which is what the Comptroller's Office is reporting.
Right.
With justifications by the evidence of the existing contracts.
No, we're happy to
So
take a look
your
at both.
response makes no sense.
We're happy to take a look at both and circle back with you with what the distinction is between the two.
Okay, so it is on record that you are testifying for 36% for FY25 for overall MWBE spending, whereas all we can find on record is 11.5%.
Yeah, it's 36%.
That's a huge discrepancy, over 20%.
Yeah, and we'll circle back with you. We'll take a look at it and circle back.
For 80 to 90% of the questions that we've asked you, all you keep on saying is, I'll circle back with you. You have no staff with you from your office, and the other agencies are not here. Similarly, Checkbook says $1.7 billion of contract spending went to MWBE in fiscal year 25, not $2.2 billion that you're stating in the testimony. So can you help me understand the discrepancy there?
We'll take a look at it and circle back.
Are you inflating the number by $1 billion almost?
No, but we will take a look at it and circle back.
What do you mean by circle back? Are you going to send me the contracts to justify how you're getting to 2.2 instead of 1.7?
We're going to look at both. We'll look at checkbook and the sources you're looking at, and we'll circle back with the distinction.
So you're going to send me the contracts of how the difference is being made up by
We
$1 billion?
We will circle back with a response as to what we see the differences are.
You said in your testimony that you're going to have the next disparity study completed by end of calendar year 2025. So we're in mid-November 2025. That leaves you a month and a half. So are you saying on record that the mayor's office and you will issue an executive order to update the MWBE utilization goal before this administration wraps December 31st, 2025?
What we're saying is that the study will be completed. It's slated to be completed by the end of this year, and we will circle back regarding the findings and the data.
Are you going to publish it and make it public so that the good people of New York City can read this study?
Once we have reviewed the data itself and the conclusions, we'll circle back on what the process will be for socialization.
So are you going to publish it? Circle back. What does this mean? You keep on saying circling back.
I'll be specific. Meaning that for me, I can't tell you specifically what will be published and shared, but we'll circle back and discuss what will be published and shared once we've completed the study and taken a look at it.
Okay, I guess the council needs to update this law to make sure that publishing publicly is part of this study. All right. So moving on to contracting financial loans for MWBEs that applied for contract financial loans in fiscal year 25. How many loans were approved, and what was the total dollar value? And what is the average loan amount? How many loans were denied, and what were the reasons behind the denials?
Are you asking regarding a specific agency? I'm sorry. The question's a bit broad.
For the financial loans for all of the agencies, for any MWBE who has applied for the contract financial loan.
Okay, well, if you're referring to a specific loan, we're happy to circle back with you on that.
So you don't have an answer?
For the specific loan, no. Not without examining the data first.
So it's on your website on NewYorkCityBusiness.nyc.gov for New York City businesses, and it's called Contract Financial Loan Fund. Get the funds you need to take on city contracts, loan eligibility, have an operating business, be seeking financing as a prime or subcontractor towards a contract with a city or a city-funded entity. This is an SBS. It would have helped if the SBS commissioner decided to attend this hearing or send staff, but it's a SBS Connect account, and that is how you apply to make sure that you can get the Contract Financial Loan Fund. Because as Councilmember and Chair Lewis has said, it is not easy for people of color, especially Black women, to qualify for the MWBE certification and to be able to finance it for these contracts.
Yeah, we agree that we certainly understand and agree that there is it's often a barrier to entry financing, and SBS does provide a number of technical tools and financial assistance, and with that specific loan fund, we'll circle back.
I'm going to pass it over to Chair Lewis for another round of questions.
Chair Wan, I'm going to just add an addendum to my statement for the record regarding Resolution 281. We often speak of New York City as an engine of opportunity, yet the data before us reveals a broken promise for the demographic that serves as the very backbone of our neighborhoods, women of color. The Comptroller's recent report uncovered a disturbing disparity within the disparity. In fiscal year 2023, despite our stated goals, Black women-owned businesses receive a staggering 0.39% of citywide contract value. For Hispanic women-owned businesses, that number drops to a near invisible 0.11%. These statistics represent the systemic exclusion of thousands of qualified entrepreneurs in districts like mine in central Brooklyn. While we celebrate incremental gains in the broader MWBE program, the reality is that the male-owned MWBEs are receiving nearly 8 times the number of contracts as those owned by women. We are seeing a valley of death where women of color navigate the bureaucracy to get certified, only to be completely shut out when it comes to time to cut checks. Resolution 281 calls upon the mayor's office to stop treating the MWBE program as a monolith. It demands that the administration identify and implement specific target measures to close this gender and racial gap. We cannot claim to be fighting an inequality while the city's own wallet reinforces it. It is our responsibility to ensure that the path to generational wealth is not paved only for a select few. Passing this resolution is a necessary step forward, ensuring that the women who build our communities are finally given a fair shot at building our city. I'm going to pass it now back to Chair Wan.
Thank you so much. We are going to be doing a lot of circles, and we're going to hear from you soon. This hearing is now adjourned. Oh,
Thank you.
oh, sorry. The administration is dismissed. Thank you for being the lone person who showed up and, taking everyone else's heat that you didn't have to do alone. But now we're going to move on to public testimony.
Thank you.
The first panel that we're going to hear from is Marsha Collier, Ria Verdachari, Kamala Millwood, and Camille Newman. So it's Marsha Collier, Ria Verdachari, Kamala Millwood, Camille Newman. I now open for hearing for public testimony. I remind members of the public that this is a government proceeding and that decorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent at all times. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the Sergeant at Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. If you wish to speak at today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card with the Sergeant at Arms and wait to be recognized. When recognized, you will have 2 or 3 minutes to speak on today's oversight topic. Status of Minority and Women-Owned Businesses, MWBE Certification Program, or any of the following bills attached to the hearing. Intro 1076 or Reso 281. If you have a written statement or additional written testimony you wish to submit for the record, please provide a copy to testimony of Sergeant at Arms. You may also email written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours of the close of this hearing. Audio and video recordings will not be accepted. For in-person panelists, please come up to the table once your name is called, and we will now turn, okay, so you may begin.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So a bit of a pivot from today's topic. I'm actually here for women and genders equity. So again, dear members of the committee and chairs, thank you for the opportunity to speak. While today's agenda focuses on MWBE certification, I'm speaking to a core pillar of gender equality and equity, survivors' safety and access to services. So my name is Marcia Collier. I'm a medical doctorate and Masters of Public Health student from Jamaica, Queens, New York. And I'm asking for you guys to support the New York State Bill S2280A, which requires a standardized lethality assessment and an immediate warm handoff from police or hospital staff to trained advocates based on the result of that assessment that would connect survivors with resources during that immediate incident. So why should we act now? Domestic violence is a persistent driver of serious harm in our city. From 2010 to 2022, DV victims accounted for about 17% of all New York City homicides, and intimate partner homicides has risen in recent years. In a review of recent cases, 8% of intimate partner homicide victims had an active order of protection at the time of the incident, underscoring gaps at first contact. What is proposed we do about it? The lethality assessment program.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. We're only taking testimony for on-topic items today.
Okay.
But if you want to submit the testimony you have, you can with the sergeant or the email that we provide here. But unfortunately, we're only taking on-topic testimony.
Okay. Well, I've submitted it through email for you guys as well, but that's okay. I'm willing to hear you guys out in another venue.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Ria Vardachari, and I'm speaking on behalf of Engage Action, an organization that advocates for Muslim American civic and political empowerment. Thank you, Chair Wan and members of the committee for the opportunity to testify today. I'm here in support of Intro 1076, a bill that would pave the way for Middle Eastern and Northern African-owned businesses to become eligible for the city's Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprise Program. The most damaging impact is that MENA-owned businesses are locked out of the MWBE program entirely, not because they lack capacity, but because they are still misclassified as white under outdated federal standards. This misclassification means these businesses have zero access to the over $6 billion in city contracts reserved for certified minority and woman-owned firms. It is a structural exclusion baked into the system, and it will continue unless this council acts now. We see this exclusion clearly in MENA communities, many MENA-owned small construction, catering, bodega, and professional service businesses would be excellent matches for city contracts. They are deeply rooted in neighborhoods, they employ local workers, and they have the expertise. But without the MWBE status, they lack visibility in procurement databases and cannot access small business set-asides, and they miss out on capital mentorship programs tied to certification. This bill is also urgent. The next MWBE disparity study is approaching, and if MENA businesses are not included now, they will be excluded for another full study cycle, likely several years. We urge the Council to pass Intro 1076 so that this critical study captures the reality facing these communities. I will be submitting a more detailed written testimony, and I want to thank the Council for considering this long overdue step towards economic equality for MENA-owned businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. You may begin.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kamala Millwood. I am the president of Palatial Publishing, LLC, which is a MWBE certified company. I also have a master's in management from St. Francis College. And I'm here to give you my testimony. And I'm happy that I'm able to extend it from what I had before, now that we have a little bit more time. Okay. My company, through my work, has been helping small businesses navigate certification. Consistently, we're hearing the same concerns, that the current MWBE application process is too long, too complex, and too burdensome for micro and small business owners. To improve access and reduce disparities, I strongly recommend creating a shorter, simplified application that eliminates unnecessary requirements and can be reasonably completed under 60 minutes. This would allow the smallest and most vulnerable businesses to participate more fully in the program. I also express my full support for Resolution 281 and its call for concrete measures to address the disparities women of color-owned businesses face in securing and performing public contracts. My company has certified within this year only, fiscal year 2025, 170 businesses. 170 businesses. And the thing is, I personally do these certifications, and I sit with these individuals, and I see a lot of them have tried many, many years to do these certifications by themselves. And they will see things like asking about stocks and shares or meeting minutes. Many of these things don't apply to these companies. The process takes an average of 6 to 8 hours to complete. And that's with me sitting right next to them with my laptop. 6 to 8 hours. Many of them don't have resumes. They don't have logos.
If you could wrap it up.
Okay, so I'm just letting you know that because I'm determined to make sure these businesses get certified, I've never had any denials. That's the first step. The second step is to make the process more simple for more people to be certified and to get these government contracts. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, council members. My name is Camille Newman, Director of Economic Development and Entrepreneurship at the Local Development Corporation of East New York, home to the Brooklyn Women's Business Center and New York State Entrepreneur Assistance Center. Every week, we encourage entrepreneurs to pursue MWBE certification, but what we see is business owners spend months navigating a difficult process only to receive no new business once they're certified. For the smaller MWBEs we serve, the city's procurement system is simply not built for their stage of growth. Opportunities are too large, too complex, or too hard to find. Access is a barrier, but capacity is another. Even firms under $500,000 in annual revenue struggle with working capital, cash flow gaps, and long payment delays that make city contracting risky for the smallest MWBEs. To close these gaps, we recommend 3 priorities. Require agencies to publish clear procurement pipelines so emerging MWBEs can see opportunities in advance. Standardize commodity codes across agencies so firms can reliably find opportunities they match their services. track first contract metrics, and explore bonus evaluation points for agencies that award contracts to emerging MWBEs under $500,000 in revenue. Our entrepreneurs are ready to work and eager to contribute to local hiring, but they need the procurement pathways with real entry points. We also encourage the city to explore a procurement readiness accelerator to help smaller MWBEs navigate this entire process. In closing, we support Resolution 281, and thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you all. This panel, do any of my colleagues have questions for the panel? All right, this panel is dismissed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please forgive me if I butcher your name. Ariarat El Rawi. Okay, you may come forward. Musa Naji. Okay. Donatella Craig. And Stephen Bari. You may begin.
Sure. Members of the committee, good afternoon. Welcome, or thank you for having me. My name is Arad El Rawi. I'm the owner and proprietor of Cafe Little Armenia in Greenpoint. I'm here today to speak on behalf of 1076. As my parents were Armenian immigrants that came to this country from Iraq, so they were already, twice burdened, coming over here and trying to start a business and trying to do something like that. I opened my own business after my father also had a business too. And what I do see, I see a lot of people represented. And I mean, I spent 30 years in the business. So for me to have that kind of input and insight before I opened my restaurant was already great. But the troubles that I faced going into it, I sure wish that there was a little more help or a little more recognition, something that I could have done that would have certainly helped me, to overcome some of the barriers. It's not easy, to open a restaurant and to go through procuring a lease and then, all the little things that you need to do to gain something like that, And as I said, I think we live in one of the best cities in the world, and there's so much representation of so many different things in here. And one thing I do see, I see a lot of Middle Eastern food, and sometimes I see Greek food and Mediterranean, and I never really saw the banner of Armenian food. Like, I don't know if we were represented in that way. When I first moved back to New York 20-some years ago, my friend had opened a Korean restaurant, and I remember before I opened my Armenian restaurant, I spoke to her about it, and she said, Irad, she said, 20-some years ago when I opened Moim, she said, you didn't see that many Korean restaurants. You saw a lot of Asian restaurants and different things, but you really see the banner of Korean restaurants around outside of Koreatown. She said, now when you drive around, you see a lot of places that have Korean food, and it's represented all over the place. And, she encouraged me to open my restaurant just based on the fact that I don't see a lot of Armenian representation. She said, you kind of have a leg up on there. And, right now there's only 3, and one of them focuses on catering, and so I just think that, yeah, it would be nice to see more representation and more help. And I think that there's a lot of people that are out there that want to represent their food and their cultures. And we just want to be part of the dance as well. We're not trying to say we're being left out or that we're better or anything like that. We just want to be part of the dance too. If everybody else can, get their foot in, then I think that we should be able to as well. And when I see things like this, and I think that these are things that help people, this would be amazing for people like my parents, that wanted to have a business, that wanted to start a business and weren't quite sure how to go about it. And then doors get shut in your face and, leases get, taken away because you don't have the money and you don't have this and, all the things that you have to go to procure a lease and to, actually get a business. And I think stuff like this really helps because, as I said, we're not living in Akron, Ohio. We're not living in a different state. We live in New York City, and there's so much representation of so many cultures, and that's what makes our city so great. And I think we should just continue to foster that, help that, and make that accessible so everybody can have a voice in the game. And it's not just, the traditional standard stuff, or it's not just the traditional stuff that you see, laying around. Oh, it's Asian food. No, it's not. It's Korean food. Oh, it's Mediterranean. No, it's Armenian food. My Iraqi food. I don't even see that much Iraqi food, outside of here. There's a few places in Jersey that you can go to and, stuff like that. But it sure would be nice to see like more representation and give everybody a chance to survive and do their thing in this great city of ours where everybody can have a voice. And that's what makes, as I said, it's what makes our city so great is that everybody can have a voice and can be represented. But, to be underrepresented is something that's, doesn't help, when you are trying. So, when I found out about this, when I heard about this, it's like, yeah, definitely, I would definitely support that as a small minority business owner, not just minority being that's just my restaurant by myself, but an Armenian immigrant, Iraqi, business owner, that's like, yeah, that checks enough boxes, for me to want to come in and, just kind of stand up and, do the right thing, I think. So it'd be just nice to see better representation and, put us in the game. And that's all we're asking. So that's what I'm here on behalf of today. And I hope this helps. I'm not sure, but that's my thoughts on it. And thank you for taking time. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. You may begin.
So I was here to give testimony regarding insurance, but I did arrive here late, so I'm not sure if that was pertinent to this committee hearing. Okay, so I was asked to provide some testimony regarding insurance costs, and I listed out three things that are the major factor in terms of the rising costs in the last 20 years that I've been doing property management. Our portfolio is essentially small to mixed business, mixed use properties and warehouses in Manhattan and Queens. The three things that are a factor is the changing policies that are offered by insurers. So one year we'll have one policy which will cover all the things that we need to for essentially living and operating a building in Manhattan, and that will no longer be available in the next year. It will be repackaged, and that policy will then be an additional percentage more than it was the previous year. It will have a different name, and it will not provide the same amount of services. For example, boiler services. For boiler coverage, you have to have an inspection by the DOB, as well as DEP. Suddenly, they no longer provide that, but now it's twice as much. When I first started doing this in 2007, that was about $2,000. As of this year, it's $18,000. So that's a huge jump, and that's to get the same amount of service I was getting in 2007. The other two are claims. Claims that are legitimate. Those are always going to be occurring in Manhattan, but the major problem is that's an albatross around your neck. If you have a claim against your building, let's say there's a fire, the insurer for that year will look at that and say, okay, I'm not going to cover you. Well, now I go to the next insurance provider. They'll see that same issue and say, okay, well, now we're going to raise your rate by X. And that occurs throughout your cycle without owning a property, no matter if it is a fire or is as small as a trip and fall. The last is bogus claims. As a property owner with commercial tenants, I have experienced not just with them, but also running businesses in Manhattan as restaurants, that there are those who will look at ADA complaints against insurance as a gamble. Those that as really quickly they're filed out of state. So if those three things could be addressed, that would lower costs. Thank you.
Is it on? Sorry. Councilmember Farah, Chair Committee, thank you. My name is Donatella C., a founder and CEO of My Hungry World, Inc., a minority and woman-owned small business based in District 43, proudly serving entrepreneurs, families, and emerging enterprises across Brooklyn and the entire city. I'm grateful for the opportunity to testify today in full support of strengthening the MWBE program in strong alignment with Resolution 281. Why am I here? I'm here today as a Black woman business owner, a survivor of domestic violence, rebuilding her life through entrepreneurship, a small business advocate who helped more than 70,000 families facing housing instability, a consultant who has helped generate $4.3 million in funding for small businesses nationwide, and a proud participant, in New York's economic ecosystem who believes deeply in the promise of the MWBE program. I'm also here because, like thousands of women of color in New York City, I have personally experienced the very barriers that today's hearing seeks to address. The disparities are real and the data proves it. The committee report for today's hearing confirms what many of us have lived. Women of color remain the least likely to obtain, sustain, and scale through public contracts. Some of the most striking data, which was mentioned earlier, only 1.03% of contract value member MWBE participants went to women of color. Black women-owned firms received just 0.39%. Hispanic women-owned firms, 0.11%. Only 20% of certified MWBEs received any contracts in FY24. The average MWBE contract is valued at just 11% of non-certified firms' contract value. Emergency procurement excluded MWBEs almost entirely, with less than 4% of emergency dollars reaching us. The statistics are not abstract. They translate to real consequences for my clients, my community, and my own business. My MWBE journey.
If you could wrap it up in 60 seconds.
Okay. For years, I've supported the MWB. I've been to Albany. I recently had the pleasure of meeting Francilla Wilkins Rahim and Melva Wilson. They're in the top 1% of MWBE certified businesses. Wilkins has $900 million on her platform. For me, this is really imperative, the disparities that we're facing. And to speak to your point earlier today, I have my contract along with 9 others in the process. Part of the problem is if you go to the portal, the links that are in the actual program, which requires 34 to 37 documents to answer your question from earlier, you are given 2 months to complete the process. I'm currently, with my small businesses, averaging a little less than a week to complete. But the minute you submit, it is a 90 to 120-day delay, it says, before someone reaches out to you. The links between city, state, which most people don't understand that MWBE is a city certification and a state certification, is different. You also have the ability to do the addendums for New York, New Jersey Port Authority and the Small Business Services, which is the city. The various support desks, which they do have, they don't know anything about each other and they don't communicate.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Musa Naji. I'm the Director of Advocacy and Community Relations at YAMA, the Yemeni American Merchant Association. It is an organization dedicated to uplifting Middle Eastern and North African voices and ensuring our communities are recognized both in civic and economic life. Right now, MENA New Yorkers are not recognized in city data. We are grouped into the broad white category, which erases the unique challenges our small businesses face. And specifically for the Yemeni American community, it is a community that almost impossible for any New Yorker to avoid owning more than nearly 10,000 small businesses in New York City, predominantly delis or bodegas. But despite providing essential services and employing local residents, we are excluded from the Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprise Program simply because MENA businesses are not recognized. And this is not unique to just Yemeni Americans, but all members of the MENA community, Middle East, North Africa community. And it just reflects the systemic barriers faced by many in our community. We are here in strong support of Intro 1076, which offers a straightforward solution, which is simply to direct the next disparity study to examine whether MENA businesses experience discrimination or underrepresentation. And based on what we've seen and heard earlier from the First Deputy, I think it is crucial for this Intro 1076 to pass because there's a lack of communication from the administration on what is being done and how exactly they're collecting the data from the MENA communities, which is why Intro 1076 needs to pass to ensure that the next disparity study is actually taking these examinations from MENA communities and not just claiming that they're doing it without any results or proof of where they're collecting this information. Mentions of smaller communities across the city. So thank you, and we are urging the council to pass Intro 1076.
Thank you so much. I want to acknowledge Councilmember Lynn Schulman, who has joined us on Zoom, and our last in-person panelist is Christopher Leon Johnson.
Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Leon Johnson. Thanks for having this hearing today. I'm here to show my support for all MWB businesses. I just want to say this, right? Today, I think we all saw today that the agency, the commissioner didn't show up. And I think the reason she didn't show up because that she knows she's out the door. She know that next about month in the change, there's going to be a transition. Now, I know that we're still in the Adams administration, but we have to look forward. And I believe that this committee itself should be working with the Madani administration, transition committee, to preserve Adams' vision of making sure that black businesses still have the same amount of volume of contracts in his administration. Because this is my feeling. I know I'm not trying to get banned for 30 days. I have a big feeling that the black businesses will be excluded from the Madani administration and it'll be prioritized to I like to call like the MENA businesses, like Arab and Yemeni businesses. So I'm calling the city council to really make sure that the black businesses are preserved in the Madani administration, while we have to make sure that the Muslims and like the Arabs businesses are preserved. I understand that, but black businesses should be prioritized too. They should get the same fair share. They should get treated correctly. It should be no nepotism going on with Madani's administration prioritizing Arab Muslim businesses and downplaying and excluding all the black businesses. And and we make sure, by the way, about domestic violence. I know you cut the lady off. We need to make sure in that administration that people that are victims of domestic violence, who have small businesses, are protected in the Madani administration. That's what we got to make sure. So thank you so much. And like I said, protect black business, protect women businesses, and let's keep it like Adams we did. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We're now going to move on to online testimony. We are going to hear from Anita Pierce, Jerry Stengel, Abdesamad El Jury. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but you may unmute to speak. Anita Pierce.
You may begin.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, city members, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Abdel Samad. I am a Moroccan American from Morocco, a founder and executive director of Al Jori Association, a nonprofit that serves immigrants and including Middle Easterns and North Africans and many other communities through education, economic opportunity, and language access programs. And we strongly support Intro 1076. Today, MENA New Yorkers are still classified as white due to outdated federal standards, even though our communities are linguistically, ethically, and culturally distinct. Because of the misclassification, MENA-owned nonprofits and business like ours cannot qualify for the City MWBE program, despite facing real barriers to capital, contracting, discrimination, and economic mobility. As a nonprofit founded, run, and serving MENA and immigrant families, we see daily how exclusion from MWBE limits access to resources and restricts the ability of our community to compete fairly. Mina owned interpretation services, child care providers, small contractors, community programs, and social service organization are naturally fit for the city contracts, but remain locked out simply because the city has no accurate category for them. Intro 1076 is urgent. We urge the council to pass it by December 18th stated meeting so the MENA New Yorkers can finally be recognized and included in economic opportunities that already support so many others. Thank you for your time and listening. And my full written testimony has been submitted for the record.
Thank you so much. Our next online testimony is by Jerry Stengel.
You may begin.
Jerry, you can
Thank you
go
for the
off mute.
opportunity to testify today. My name is Jerry Stengel. I'm CEO and president of Ventuneer and the author of The Impact of Women-Owned Businesses. And it's a national survey, and I don't know that it's as relevant as the testimony that has preceded me. So I'm going to give back my time. You have the written notes so that if you want to see and read about the national numbers, you have that available to you.
Thank you so much. Next, we're going to hear from Anita Pierce.
You may begin.
I am a proud Brooklyn, Brownsville native and the founder of 11375. As a certified New York City and New York State MWBE, for more than a decade, I have supported specifically small and micro businesses under $250,000. And my journey is rooted in community. I began as a client of the LDC Corporation of East New York and currently serve as a business advisor within their women's Business Center and also the EAC Center, supporting entrepreneurs as they navigate the very system that I once struggled with. As an alum of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business and a coach of Columbia University CU Grow program, across the work, I have supported specific businesses to help them navigate through this specific process. And throughout the work, we consider ourselves specifically in supporting um, businesses, entrepreneurs, and to help them to win contracts. And so, in support of Resolution 281, some of the key outcomes that we are currently focusing on is the important step that will address the disparities faced by women business owners. And I respectfully recommend the following specific outcomes. The first deals with creating the right size contracting opportunities for micro businesses and defining micro businesses or scopes under $250,000 that will allow them to be able to take advantage of the opportunity to be able to grow and scale. The other thing deals specifically with establishing a standardized post-certification support system. A lot of the work that we are engaged in at the LDC deals just with that, not just the onboarding process, but the post-certification, which provides
Thank you for your testimony.
navigating.
Time has expired.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you.
Is there anyone else on Zoom that has not testified that wants to testify? Otherwise, we are going to adjourn this hearing. And thank you everyone for coming. This hearing is now adjourned.